Hi, I'm Bet from Bet's Makes, and today we're making a triangle center fold card. You can see an example of it here. It has a number of triangles, it has a centerpiece, it will fold up, but it is absolutely perfect for what we are going to be making today and making a lot of edges. Now our supplies list today, you need asset number 411 from the resource library, and you can find that at free.creativecraftersclub.com, or if you are a member, you will find it at hub.creativecraftersclub.com. Now for other supplies, we need one sheet of 12 by 12 paper, usually a medium cardstock for the card itself, 3 or 4 sheets of 12 by 12 for card additions, and these are little decorative elements, and you can do that by using a light cardstock in patterns. And you'll probably want to add a white cardstock to all of this to put some greetings if you're ready to put some greetings into place. Now you'll need a Cricut pen if you're going to do the greetings, some glue, and some scissors. So as to start, we're going to go over to Design Space and take a look at the different things that we are going to need. Now, this is one I have set up ahead of time, just to give you an idea of some of the cuts and things that we are going to be making. Now, I'm just going to start a new one here, and I'm just going to replace what I was working with. I'm going to my upload. And I'm going over here, I'm just in this triangle fold center style, and I'm going to add that to our canvas. Perfect. So now we have a number of things that we're going to be working with here. One is going to be the card itself, and then we're going to need some duplicates of this. So I'm just going to push the Alt key here, move a duplicate over, and we are going to be playing with this piece right now. And you can see in the layers panel. So I'm just going to grab this triangle, and I'm going to change from basic cut to score, and that gives me the score lines I need to make the card. So that is all there is to that. I'm just going to attach it down here. So the card is ready to go. Now I'm going to take a copy of this again. I'm just holding down the Alt key and dragging it over. Let me just drag this card over a bit so you can see what I'm working on here. Just move this slightly out of the way. Now I want to have pieces in here where I have the outside pieces all ready to go, and I am going to be able to cut those out of a designer paper. So with this one in mind, I'm going over to combine this time, and I am going to subtract, and that gives me these nice triangle pieces that we are going to be working with when it comes to making the decorative pieces. The only difference here in between is that I want to have an area in here that is going to be writing a greeting, and then we need a piece that's going to fit on there. So there's a couple of ways we can do this, and this is before I'm going to duplicate the whole thing. If I click on offset, you'll notice that I get an offset in here with a smaller piece inside. Well, I'm just going to apply this, and if I pull this out of the way, you'll see that I have exactly the same thing but a little smaller. So let me just going to move this over here because I want this piece, and I just want this center part all ready to go. Now we've got a black square here, so let me grab another shape, and I'll grab a square, and I just want to change the color so that we can see what we're doing here. And I want this over top of all of this, because what I want is the piece in the middle. Let me just drag these two pieces together so we can come to the combine menu. If I click on intersect, I get something totally wrong. It's something I don't want. So let's go back, hide the two together, and if we come back to the combine menu and we do exclude, I end up with extra pieces around the outside edge and the piece in the middle. So I'm going to find that that is not going to work for me either. But I'm going to drag these two together. This time I'm going to click on slice. Perfect. So first thing is I get the piece that I am looking for right here, and I don't need of these extra pieces. I'm just going to delete them. And now I have my greeting piece that I can work with. Now I'm going to just rotate this 45 degrees so it's facing the correct way. Perfect. So I'm going to need a couple of these. I'm going to have two different greetings, one on the inside, one on the outside. Let's go in Alt. I will have two of these greetings. Now the one big thing that is missing from all of this, I am going to need some of the triangles. I'm just going to move this over here. I'm going to need a triangle shape in here. Now this is a decorative piece. We only made one so far. We actually need two. So let me just do the Alt and move one out of the way. What I want to do is make a triangle so that it fits inside here, so I have another way of putting another greeting. So I'm going to have to rotate this one 45 degrees as well. Perfect. And now what I need is a triangle that's going to fit in here. So I'm simply going to go to my shapes, pick on a triangle, I'm going to unlock it, and then I'm going to start playing with it so I get exactly what I want. This is going to be a greeting that we are going to glue on there. So that's a pretty good size. It actually looks good. I'm going to lock it into place, and of course I'm going to change it to that same color we had for the other one. Alright, so now we have our triangles in place. Now we want to change the greeting. Now I notice that these have an orientation around the other way, but not to worry, we can still put those greetings in place. So we can have a happy birthday, we can add different things. So I'm going to click on some text here, and let's find a nice font, and I think there are some free ones towards the bottom here. Fonts collection, this is a nice writing one. Those are paid. I'm trying to find one that we're not going to have to pay for. Okay, let's just pick this plain one here. Favorite fonts collection, single layer. That's interesting. I don't want that. I want the text. So we can add happy here. I'm gonna click away, double click inside. Is it going to let me change my text? Yes. Happy. And I'm going to change that from a basic cut to a pen. Looks okay. And then I'm going to add another text box down here, and I'm going to type in birthday. I'm going to change that to pen as well. And then we can decide on the pen. Let me just, I wanted to center these horizontally. All right, align, horizontal. Okay, everything's together. I'm going to attach that. So it is one piece, and I can just put that off to the side. That's going to go on the inside. Now this one is going to be on the outside, and it's going to, when we fold the card up, we're going to see two different pieces of this fold, so it depends on how we want to fold it into place. So we can have part of a greeting on the top and part on the bottom, or we can just simply put something like a cake to draw on it, so you just see two pieces of a cake. So let's see what we've got here. Let's just search for a cake. We want something that we can just draw in place that's pretty simple. Don't want it too elaborate. Some nice cakes. There's a nice simple one right there. This is called Emma Jewel. It's part of Access, but you can use a different cake. All right, so we're going to have our cake in here. Just make it a bit bigger. And I'm going to center it both ways. I stop picking on everything. It happens to everybody. Align, center. All right, I'm going to attach that. Oh, I better not attach it yet. I'm going to take my cake here. Okay, let's click on the cake here. I'm going to change it to a pen. There we go. Now I can grab the two and attach them. And now I have a greeting on the outside and a greeting on the inside. And now we can put different designs on these. And these are going to go around the inside and the outside. What I'm going to do is suggest that we go over to images and click on balloon. Want something simple we can draw that is not going to be too complicated. So here's a nice little one here. You can pick any balloon you like. I'm going to change it from black. Actually, I'm going to just change it to draw right now. We're just going to draw these, and then you can color them in later. And I am going to shrink it down so that it is going to fit inside our triangle. That looks really nice. Going to grab the two together and attach them. Now we're going to need 8 of these. So let me just grab 8. I'm going to hold the Alt key down. So I've got 1, 2, lift the click, up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So to be lazy, I'm going to grab all 4, hold the Alt key down, and I'll drag 4 more. All right, let's take an inventory here. We have the 8 triangle message pieces. We have the message on the outside, the message on the inside. We're good to go. This is a decorative piece for the outside, and we have another one here for a decorative piece for the inside. And then we have the card itself. We no longer need our duplicate, so I am going to delete that one. And we are pretty well ready to start making this. So let's save it. And this is a triangle center style fold card. Mine's 02 because I have another one, and then I'm going to put it under cards and save it. Great. All right, it is time to start making our design. So let's go over to make. And we've got a couple of the triangles here and there, and it seems to want to put things in weird places. I've got a whole bunch of these. Let me just move them onto the same mat. Move this object, and we're going to go here. I think I'll just move our cake over here. Probably put this one here. I'm going to turn this one around upside down. I'll fit it in here. So I've got 3 of them on here. And just grab this one. I've got 3. I wonder if I'll fit 3 on the other one. We're going to find out. Move object. And we're going to move it to here. Actually, if I turn this one this way, I can slide it in here. Gives me 4. And I'm just going to, I think I'll fit the other 2 in there okay. So let's just move this object. We'll just take this, oh, not that one, this one. I'm going to turn it the other way. Bring it here. I think I'll fit the other one right there. I'll be really happy if we can do that. And move this object, bring it here, and it went here. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it this way. I think I should be able to fit it. Goes up there. Move this one out a bit. I can move this one down. I can move these over just a hair. Put it up a bit. Not that one. This, not that one. This one. This one. There it is. Let's move it up a bit. everything to fit in here. Oh, I can just move this one out a bit too, and then slide this one up, playing around with it so it will all fit. Yeah, those two fit in there now. That one's okay. I just bring this one up a bit so it's not cutting into anything. Everything looks good. All right, that's our first one. That's going to be out of the white paper, so I need a 12 by 12 here. This one, the next one, that's also out of the white paper. And if I bring this down here and move this into place, I can use a smaller piece of paper, which is fine. Wait. It's like saving on my paper. I think I'm not going to get away with too much there, so I'm going to need another white piece. And then over here is the card itself. And then our two pattern pieces here and here. So we're looking good for our two pattern pieces, our card, and then I need two of the white sheets in order to work this. All right. So the pen and basic and the pen are at the top here, and then we have the basic, score, and cut at the bottom. I'm going to start with these bottom ones and get those cut before we work on the other pieces. Let's just grab this one. Let's go continue. I'm going to select my device here. Perfect. Now I'm going for a medium cardstock. On this one, it's going to need my triangle. So let's just go over here before we get ready. I'm going to use a yellow paper with these other combination colors just because I want to see everything in place. So let's start with the card itself. Move my top piece here. Just get our cardstock in place. And it wants my scoring wheel. And we'll get that one going, and then we'll start to put together some of our other pieces at the same time. So we'll just get this one going. Now these are going to be my two decorative pieces that I'm going to be using, and then I'm going to get a couple of larger sheets of the white for our messages and our drawing. And as far as the drawing goes, I'm just going to use, this is a 0.4 tip. I'm going to use a bigger tip for this, so let's just grab some pens out of my combination here. This one is a 0.4, so 0.4 to me is a bit too narrow, so I can come through and take a look at some of my pens here. So I want a 1, and with the colors of all of this that we picked, let's try one of these. This is a 1, 0, and this is a metallic blue, medium tip metallic blue. And I'm just going to test the color here. Let me just move my pack out of the way. I'm just going to test the color in the corner here, and that looks really good. So we'll use a metallic blue color. Now he's looking for my fine point blade here. Now just change over to the fine point blade, and it'll cut those pieces out. And as soon as that's done cutting, we will prepare our other mats. Okay, we've unloaded our first mat, and now it is coming to our second mat here, which we are going to use a light cardstock, and it just wants the pen there, and it's going to be one of our decorative pieces that we're going to be putting in there, and it's going to be I'm going to have this nice greenish color one that I'm going to put in there for a decorative piece. It's not going to take too long to cut these. Load my mat. Just take this piece off. Get this next mat ready. I'm going to use a pink color for a light cardstock for the next one. While we're waiting for that to cut, we have our card itself all ready to go, and you'll see there are a number of score lines here, so we're going to get ready, and I'm just going to put these score lines working for us. Now most of this will be covered up with a nice decorative piece, so not to worry if you don't like your base color. Now the other piece that needs to be in here, let's see if I can find it, is we have a fold line down the center on this one, so I'm going to leave them all folded together and come to my fold line. There it is. Make sure we get the fold going in the right direction for each piece. This is going to go this way, and when I fold those in, it's going to go the other way. Perfect. Okay, so we have the base piece all ready to go. We have one of our decorative elements done now, so we're just going to load for the next one. And we'll take some of these pieces off here. There we go. Now there's two pieces that are coming off here, and we're going to be using those as the decorative pieces. That should come right to the edge. There we go. Now these ones will come off separately as well. I just want to be very careful when I lift them up. And while that other piece is getting ready, I'm going to put one of my white greeting cardstock items in place. And I'm using a medium cardstock here. I didn't have large enough paper for my lighter cardstock, so I'm just going to use a medium here. All right, this piece coming out, we'll take care of that in a second. Keep that off the side. Now we're going to be using a pen and a basic cut in this one, so we're going for our medium cardstock. We have selected our blue. And I'll just put that into the machine. It's just loaded up. And we'll start taking pieces off of here at the same time. Multitasking. Again, I just want to peel this off gently. Too many curves here. There we go. We've got our two fronts, our backs, our triangles. And pretty soon we will have more triangles. We've got one more sheet we need to feed. And I will just add my other piece of medium cardstock here for the pen and other parts. So we are just waiting now for our other cuts. As I mentioned, we can decide if you want to add inside here. This is the one area you can add this one to the inside, and then on the outside we can add the extra one over here. So you can see you get two different colors, which means you can take this and you can add your triangles to the outside of the different color. Now you'll notice you only see a slight amount here. So we'll start with the outside of this particular one. Just move these out of the way. I'm actually going to glue this piece into place. I'm using my Barely Art glue. I'm not going to use very much glue in all of this. It's just sitting there for a small amount. Make sure it's not plugged up. There we go. And just 1 second here. Let's unload our mat. And I'm going to load the other mat, and it looks like our pen is fading away in here, so let me just check it. I have this extra piece of paper I was working with. It seems to be fading out, so I'm going to have to end up doing a different draw, so I'll just grab another pen. Get to draw some stuff by hand, not in the plan, but we can give it a try. Okay, let's just see if this one works any better. It seems to. So what I might do is refeed the one we already had in there with a balloon. No, actually, we'll just draw it in. All right, so I want my medium cardstock here. Just load it up. I have a little trick on how I can get the balloons to draw on this one, so we won't take anything apart quite yet. Okay, where was I? We were gluing this edge together here. And this is just a decorative element. Now, just want a little bit of glue here. One corner first. Now, what I like to do is smooth it down this way just to make sure it's flat. Okay, that looks really good. Because there is a score line here, I'm actually going to come through and just give it a bit of a fold and put enough glue in the corner. Sure I'm able to hit that. Okay, that looks good. Got the first one in place. Now we're going to go the opposite color with these. Actually drew on this next one, which is just fine. It's just going to finish cutting on that side of it. What I might do in this case is just add the blue here. So we're really close to the edge here. Okay, so we're going to be working our way through and all the way around with this. I am actually going to feed in the other paper because you can see the balloons drew perfectly here. So I'm going back to this one. And I just want to check. Because even our birthday cake didn't go for that one. Okay, so I'm going back to here. Back to our medium cardstock. I'm just going to refeed it and recut it. And that's so we have all these extra pieces. Balloons. Happy birthday. Extra piece. Now I'm working in a very small space, but it actually works. Multitask, work in small spaces. You don't need a giant space to be doing this. You just need enough space. Edge into position. One more to go on this side. Side done. We flip over and we're going to work the same way on the next side. So let me just get my glue. Fits along here. Sometimes those folds are not that easy to see. What to do is line it up against a fold at the bottom. See where it's going. Two sides working first, and then I can simply roll it into place so everything matches and fits. There we go. All right, we have all of our pieces and parts here. Just going to take them apart from here. Birthday greetings, our balloons. It looks a little different on this one because we had to pass it through a second time because our pen wasn't working. Just get rid of the extra scrap. Clean my mat off in a minute. All right, I know it's pretty plain when you first see it, but it's going to look gorgeous when we get all the parts in place. So once again, I'm just going to add my glue to these edges. We're going to go quite quickly through this. And of course, this now is the opposite color. Line it up at the bottom, push it through on the top. Remember, you don't need a lot of glue here. Just get it all lined up on the bottom. Make sure that's exactly where we want it. Over here and over here. I want to push it down until I am certain that's exactly where I want it. And I need to move this up. Match. That's pretty close. Now we've got a bit of a gap here, but not to worry about it. Just a little bit more gluing here. One more to go. This is going to be a pretty meaty card by the time you finish with it because of all the parts and pieces that we're gluing together. And last one to fit into place. All right, just give it a good roll here. Now we have an outside of a card and we have the inside of the card. Now everything's going to require some creasing, of course, and we've got our happy birthday that's going to fit inside here. But the first thing we want to do is I want to fold this in half. So we're going to have going to have to fit to the crease that's in here already. Now this is going to crease up. want to make sure it's going to match that crease. And then I can glue it not on the crease, but around it. So just go around that crease. I'm just giving very scant glue here. You can be more careful as you go through yours. I'm going to hit that crease with this. This is the important part. If it doesn't hit that crease properly, it's not going to fold properly into the card. And there we go. We are in the appropriate place. Now, as I said, it's getting to be a more of a meaty card here because we've got all kinds of parts and pieces that we're gluing in. Just going to do just a little bit on this one. And you can be more colorful, of course, and color these in. This is going to have a bit of a crease on this side as well, but it's more important for the middle. There we go. Got an extra piece here. We have nice little balloons all ready to go here. And I've used a pretty heavy-duty cardstock on these little pieces, but you don't need to use as heavy a cardstock. You can use a light cardstock, which would be a lot easier. And of course you can color these in. Now these are going to fit this way. So we have fit in, just like that. And now we have this beautiful little card. Now we're going to put more balloons on the outside here, but the important part is here now, we've got to fold this up. And we're going to have our cake greeting that is going to fit around the outside. So once again, I want to fold this in half. I don't want a big heavy-duty crease, but I do want to just glue the outside edges here. And I am going to have, let's see, what part of our cake. So if we glue it this way, we're getting the bottom of the cake, but I want the top of the cake here. The bottom there and the top here. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I'm just going to place this in the center the best I can right here. And then just roll this one up. Get this to match a little better here. Just say it gets to be a pretty meaty card after a while. And then of course you want to have our rest of our balloons are going to go in here, or you could have a different perspective to it. So we've got the balloons going this way this time. They're going in the opposite direction, so to make sure that he pulls this open and you get your balloons going in the same direction. So it's really a cute little card. Let me just pull this apart. We only have a few more pieces to put in. It's going to match in here. Got this one on this side. And the more layers you put on a card, the thicker it's going to get, so your choice of paper is going to be really important at that part. Two more to go. Might have to fix the one that I have a slight rip on. And one more piece. This piece here, just roll it into place. What a great little card. So this is how it will open up into your birthday card. It is really cute, and of course you have your birthday cake on the outside of the card as well, and that is going to fold up. And as I say, I've made it a pretty meaty card. You could fold it up this way, you could put a band around it, but this will be the outside of the card. You flip it over and then you open it up into your beautiful little birthday greeting. And that is a super little card to work with. I really hope you enjoyed making this one, and until next time, happy crafting.